My name is Nan Guo, SVP of Engineering at Zendesk. I'm here for the Ojakde show and together with Sachin, and really lovely to have this conversation, and today really excited about that.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ojakde show. We're Silicon Valley's first business, tech, and self-improvement podcast for teens, hosted by a teen me. My name is Sachin Syal. I'm a 19-year-old award-winning entrepreneur, podcaster, author, and student from the Bay Area. And I interview remarkable and influential entrepreneurs, executives, investors, leaders, and just inspiring people from all walks of life so we can learn from their stories and level up ourselves. I'm also the co-founder and CMO of Three Doshas, which is a coaching company I started with my family based on Three Dosha science. The purpose of this show is to inspire you to go for it, which is what my merch right here, Ojakde, means. This is a Punjabi word, and it means go for it. And I hope through this podcast and through the amazing stories we hear from our wonderful guests that you go for it and that you follow your dreams. Today, our very special guest is Nan Guo, who is the Senior Vice President of Engineering at Zendesk. It is awesome to have her here. She's a seasoned tech exec, and in her role, she oversees a team of over 400 engineers across the globe. And she oversees a diverse range of responsibilities such as infrastructure, reliability, and resilience, engineering productivity, core services, and developer platform functions. And prior to Nan being an executive at Zendesk, she was at another one of my favorite companies. She was at Adobe, where she was the Senior Director of Engineering for Ad Systems. And she has a very interesting story. If you look at her social media and LinkedIn, you'll see on her education section that she's actually a doctor. You got an MD in clinical medicine from Peking University.
Yes.
And then you also got a Master's of Science degree in computer science from University of Kentucky.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful story, and I'm really honored and grateful to be here with Nan. We're at the Zendesk headquarters in San Francisco, California. This is a beautiful office, as you can see. Look around, you can see that artwork and all this great stuff. So I'm super excited to have you on the show, Nan. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the time. Thank you for doing this. How are you, and what is new and exciting?
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
So super exciting. We are end of the year.
Yeah.
So the one thing immediately excites me is next week I'm actually publish of my tradition to my team, which is the year-end letter, which is summarize all the accomplishments we made, and also with a little bit fun of collecting people's basically the picture, and I'm going to create a video, just celebrate over accomplishment, also holidays. And this is a really good time to wrap up the year as well.
It is, and I'm glad we found a day when the office wasn't too busy, because we essentially got this whole place to ourselves today.
Yes,
so it's going to be a fun day. First of all, thank you for doing this. As I said earlier, I really appreciate it. When I get support from people like yourself, it really keeps me going. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I was so inspired by 19 years old.
Thank you.
Have doing this already, and my son is exactly the same age as you are.
Yes, you shared that.
So that's also very inspiring, actually, what you're doing.
You should tell him to watch the show.
Absolutely.
You should tell him to watch the episode. I know it's your mom, but you still gotta watch it, right? That'll be fun for him to watch it. Yeah. I wanted to rewind a bit. The show is for teens. I want you to take us back to your teen years. What was it like growing up? What were you passionate about, and what were you into? And then specifically the question is, what drew you to tech and medicine?
Okay, that's a great question. So I grew up in China, and my teen years mostly started, I was in Beijing, China. I grew up there and raised there.
Nice.
When I was 19, I was just entered medical school in China, and the first year or second year.
You started med school at 19?
So typically the way how med school in China it's not like a 4-year typical and then another 4-year medical school. They all combine the curriculum plus throughout. So you actually admit to the medical school, and they give you all the curriculum for study and also residency and all together. So at that time, I was just really passionate about medicine. The reason for that is this ultimately to improve human health. So I'm passionate about that, how I can be a contributor to that. And all the learnings and my teenager year in China culture, there's a lot of study. Academic is the top priority there. And I'm so lucky and happy to get into the best medical university in China.
That is true.
And then also at that time, I met my husband there.
So win-win.
Later husband, win-win. And also I really learn how to using medicine to really improve the patient's health. And I was really happy about when I choose that. And your question about
what drew you to medicine and tech? Did the medicine passion come first and then was it tech after? Or did you know as a young teen that you were going to be here at Zendesk?
I did not think about I'm going to get into tech at all. So at the beginning, I was just so focused on become a doctor. So if I stay, and I'm probably going to be in the OBGYN to deliver babies or help woman health. But you're always working with what your situation is, right? When I graduated, and my husband really passionate to pursue a PhD degree in America, so he came to here first.
I see.
And then I was like, okay, we need to stay with the family, and so I will follow along. So I basically quit what I'm doing in China and came here along and went to the same university. So when I started there, I started with a PhD in biochemistry. I was there for a year, be a researcher.
Sounds really tough to me.
Yeah, and then I don't think research is my passion at that time. At that time, it's be lucky enough. So tech is not the same at that time.
Yeah.
But I lucky enough in the time is like around 97, 98, the internet is booming.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated by the internet and how that can transform the kind of communication and how people interact with each other. And guess what? The first time I ever using email. Probably you don't quite really get to when we starting email. Email is all kind of command line.
Yeah.
First time I ever read the email is 96.
Like the early Hotmail and Yahoo email days.
Yes, actually not 97. 97 when it came to Americans, the first time I actually interact with email. Not even graphic email.
Wow.
That time everybody talked about Netscape and all that.
Yeah.
So that's how I exposed to the tech. And I was fascinated by that. So I was like, okay, maybe computer science is my thing.
Yeah.
So I actually went to the computer science department and asked them to give me a chance to admit into computer science so I can study there. Of course, I don't have any background on computer science at all.
Yeah.
And I remember the dean told me, I like your passion, but you don't have any background. How can I be sure you can be successful here?
Yeah.
I want to give you a chance, but I want you to show me you're committed and that you also can be successful. So he gave me 3 courses.
Yeah.
The upper level of computer science college course.
Yeah.
I remember one is networking, another one operating system, another one is assembly language. If 3 courses, you get GPA 3.75 and above out of 4, I will officially admit you to the program.
Okay, so that's what he told you.
And at that time, I was young, fearless. I was like, game on, okay. I quit my PhD.
Okay.
PhD. I have full scholarship for the PhD.
Oh wow.
Medical insurance and everything. Yeah. Everything covered. I also have stipends for cover all my expenses. Quit all that, and I have to pay out of state tuition for computer science for one semester. And fast forward, I'm working so hard, and every day sleep only 3 or 4 hours. Uh-oh. And after after a semester, I made it. So I got the top of the class for that. So, and the dean really happy to see I made it, and also welcome me to the program. Officially immediately also helped me to cover my finance. He gave me a TA job. So cover my tuition. Also have a little bit money left to cover my living expense. That's how I started on tech.
That's such an inspiring story, actually. Because most people would think, if they just stumble across your profile, that you've been doing tech your whole life. But it was kind of like later in life you had to pivot, and you still made it so big in the tech industry. It's very inspiring. I think something I want to share with the teens that you mentioned is this excitement you had with the internet and email. Yeah. There's a lot of young folks right now, for them it's AI. Like kids in their pre-teens, teens, or even my age, AI is really getting them inspired to just be part of the technology space, especially already if you're in the Silicon Valley. And Zendesk is one of the best companies, I think, that's using AI for your guys' products and services. I'm curious if you can just simply explain to someone who is slightly familiar with tech but doesn't know the nitty-gritty details, what does it mean to be a senior vice president of engineering at Zendesk? Can you explain your roles and what responsibilities you have?
Absolutely. So my scope cover 8 different capability area.
Yeah.
So my team is responsible for all the infrastructure. That's all the services and product running on top of that.
Yeah.
So infrastructure on production and on staging and pre-prod development, and that's including cloud infrastructure. We running over infrastructure on AWS infrastructure, but we also have a platform on top of that. Second infrastructure is about data infrastructure platform. So that's where all the company data, custom data is hosted on. And third one is AI infrastructure and platform. So why all this infrastructure platform? Because AI, data, cloud is all connected.
Yeah.
They all depend on each other. So that's 3 capability. And the first one is product reliability. So that's basically when you have a product running on production, you need an operation team to keep the product reliable, running on production. When something happened, either our dependency on vendors or our own software or deployment causing disruption on the production, there's a first response team to make sure they are fixing problem and make sure the service is up. So that's product reliability. And also that team must handle resilience. When the disaster happened, we go take out by one data center, and how do we kind of fail over to another data center?
Yeah.
And the 5th one is about engineer productivity. That team is building internal platform and framework to help our developer to do development, testing, and deployment.
Okay.
So they providing all the toolings, process, and also the framework to do that. That's what we call the 5 capability we call the Zendesk infrastructure and operation. That's 5 things. The additional 3 things is regarding our core product, what we call Zendesk core. That's including our support core. That's a ticketing platform.
Yeah.
Because Zendesk is based on a lot of things coming in as ticket, and when you're creating an interaction. So secondly is about trust and safety. We are treating security extremely seriously, and we hosting customer data. Therefore, the data customer need to feel comfortable. We protect the data in the highest degree.
Yeah.
So the team developing a lot of product security features for customer to protect their data. Something related like 2-factor authentication, and all of you probably using that already. Like IP restriction, there's permissions, role and permissions. Just give you some example of that. So those a team focus on customer-facing product security features. Last but not least is we are a company, we are a business, and how do we building a product? Also, how do we set up a pricing and packaging to charge people for how much we charge for this service, this product? So that team is doing all the what we call skills.
Yeah.
Skills is like how do you charge people for certain service. Some is on the seat-based meaning like charged by per person, by license, or some is paid by usage. So that team is building all the billing and packaging. Yeah.
That's a big role.
Yeah.
How do you like make sure you get all your stuff done? Isn't that a lot of stuff you have to manage?
Yes, that absolutely.
As a big leader at Zendesk, like what is your advice to people who want to be you one day?
This is not coming as one day, right? So when I started, I was only managing cloud infrastructure. That's one of the 8.
Yeah.
And over time, though, when I grow, when the leadership see me, I have a more capability to managing bigger. So they keep giving me more and more. And then, so also I have a strong team. So I really attribute my success to a lot of my team members. So I think as a leader, though, you cannot possibly do everything yourself. I mean, that's how much the scope you cannot grow if you do everything yourself. You need to figure out how you'll be able to strategic set clear direction for your team so they know what's important for them to do and for the driving the business impact. At the same time, enable them to be successful. They will figure out a solution. You tell them, this is what we're going to do. This is the goal we're going to achieve. Figure out how do we do that. So I build a strong leadership team. My direct is very strong leader. And each of the capability area, I have a leader in there to managing that vertical capability. And also we have a way to encourage people to really grow to their capability, and they are passionate about, then actually bring new ideas. So my job there is actually set a strategy, but also make sure the team gets supported, gets things done, and unblock them. If they are blocked by resource, by scope, or need clarification on some architecture decisions, I will be there to unblock them. My job there is I will see myself as set strategy, be cheerleader for them. When they are successful, they want to make sure they are recognized.
Yeah.
They feel like they are valued. And also third one is ask the right question. So oftentimes I'm being there, I don't want to tell them what to do, but instead I ask them questions to inspire them to figure out the solution. So they figure out their own solution. They will be more passionate about deliver. That's theirs.
Yeah.
My strongly believe is when you're working well with your team, as a leader, they trust you. You give them the room to grow. They will bring the best solution to you. At the same time, you are there to ensure they are successful. Their success is your success, but also give them a safe environment. If they do experiment, oftentimes there's a risk come with it, right?
Yeah.
And you want to make sure they don't worry they can get blame on if something failed. So as leader, you take the blame, but give credit to your team. That's basically the success recipe.
It seems like everything they teach you in a leadership class is exactly how you run your team. I'd love to work for you. You're a wonderful leader. I feel like all the points that everyone tries to, there's executive coaches in tech and people that help teams get jive with each other better and stuff. I feel like your approach is so remarkable and it's really amazing. I had a little bit of interesting question for you. It's kind of like, I've interviewed all sorts of founders and execs and investors, but I feel like your background and the way you've gone into this is really interesting. I'm curious, do you see any similarities between being a doc and being a tech exec, like the way you work with the patient, or there's medicines or therapy to help someone, and then in tech you have a team, and there's I don't know, I just feel like it's hard for me to put those two in one. Can you help us understand if there's any similarities, or if you don't think there's any similarities? I'm just curious.
They definitely have similarity. It felt like so different, right? The medicine and computer science, it's completely different knowledge base, right? And at the beginning, yes, it's very completely different. You have to really figure out, as a doctor, what you need to learn, what you need to know. Same thing as a computer scientist, you need to know programming, you need to know how you're actually going to develop deeper expertise, and then learn that. That feels very different. That's also different. But when you get into grow your career, at a certain point you realize actually they are very similar. Why? I mean, typically what I see when I working with patients, I actually in the hospital to in different departments for 3 to 4 months. I actually treat patients quite a bit.
Oh, nice.
And I even did some surgery myself. I mean, not myself by myself, but with the team. Yeah. So. You have a patient in front of you, and then you see, okay, they have a problem to solve. Meaning they have pain, or they have what kind of problem they need to solve. You have this sense of urgency to helping them. The secondly, you need to be able to diagnose the problem. Then you need to figure out what medicine, what kind of treatment you need to make. Computer science, when you come into, you always have either you build up an application or you have a problem you need to solve. You also need to figure out what the root cause of that, and how do you approach that problem, and then how do you really execute the problem, deliver that with a level of urgency. If you connect these two, it's the thinking problem-solving skill is exactly the same. And one time in my previous life, one of the chief product officer told me, he said, Nan, I see you, I observe you, how you're actually working with your team. You are very unique in the way of every morning you come in, you have your laptop set in the, you're talking with people, say, okay, what are we going to do today, and how do we solve the problem? You set your laptop next to them, you talk to them. I said, that's very unique. I never see any other kind of engineering leader doing that. I was like, that's my habit in the hospital. Because every morning I check the patient.
Second nature, right?
Yes, and I was go in there, check them, how you feel, and then I
check vitals, see how they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my habit carried forward for the technology field.
Wow.
But it worked well, and people felt connected to me.
It's so interesting. You made it sound just really a few minutes ago, I found it hard for me to put the two together. But if you think about it at a high level, it's problem solving for both, whether you're a doctor or you're an engineering leader. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I know that right now Zendesk is going through a phenomenal AI revolution. I'm curious, what is Zendesk doing to keep themselves innovative and keep innovating? And what's something you're personally excited about? Or if there's any announcements you can share. Not confidential, but you can say publicly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Zendesk is in a really interesting era. and we are full front on AI innovation. Everybody talking
Beautiful
about
website, by the way.
Yeah.
Your website's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I just say that.
And then we were the leader in the second wave of innovation for customer service. That was a few years back. Now AI is going to be really transform the AI on the customer service. Everybody say customer service is the first one, AI will be applied as application.
Yeah.
So we feel that urgency because either we will innovate and be disruptor on the market, or we'll be disrupted. Meaning like AI could be
true.
and put us existential risk. We want to be the one to be the disruptor on the market. This area have a lot of competitions, and everybody talking about they are doing AI for customer service because that's the ultimate way you can see the value, deliver value.
Yeah.
But we are seriously doing that. So even though we are not the loudest on the market, so we were very focused on AI for service is number one priority for the company. That's number one. Secondly, we have an over ecosystem all powering for AI. So you can think about AI is not building alone. You need to have a data to feed into that. You need to have infrastructure to feed into that. You need to have other service, not just support ticketing. You also have, for example, the employee service and the contact center, voice solution, chat solution. So it's an ecosystem, and we're using all the experience we have, basic expertise in the customer service, and apply the expertise, building application, really deliver value for the customer. And that's what we're there for. Our proposition is not charge you for lessons, but we are charge you based on when we deliver the value to you. So we are evolving not just as a customer service, we have become a resolution platform.
Yeah.
So we are charge customer for when you resolve your ticket, resolve your problem, not just charge you for your usage, right? So that's a fundamental transform. It's really resonating with our customer. We are double down a lot on two things on AI innovation. One is, of course, AI agent. AI agent means automation. So a lot of things could be automated by AI. You don't have to human completely every time they're doing manual work. That's actually going to be a lot of focus to how do we really make our agent much more productive, helping them to automate using AI agent. Secondly, we also acknowledge AI cannot do 100% of the time because there's a complicated case, there's personalization. They still depend on human to make judgment for some complex case. So human is still in the loop. So we also build product to help human to be more productive, to handle a complex use case. Or we have product called Copilot. So combine the agent Copilot and AI agent, then that will be building this complete kind of ecosystem to be really helping our customer to providing the best customer service for their customer. So that's what we aspiration. In the last couple of years, every year we deliver over 200 features. And customer telling us there are too many features, we couldn't keep up. And then so we are helping them to transform the journey as well. One of the things I want to mention, technology is one aspect, but more importantly, when you talk to a customer, they also need help to bring them into the journey of adopt AI. Not every customer in the same stage of, I would say, comfort level to adopt AI immediately. So we will help them along the journey, provide ecosystem. They can choose their pace of adopt AI or not. They have multiple options to put a guardrail and control over that to see their comfort level, depend on industry they are, depend on their journey on the AI journey. So we strongly believe we provide the best service through software. At the same time, also want to be their thought leadership, helping them along the journey of AI adoption.
Yeah. You know, I shared this with you pre-show. I don't know if I did the recording, but before we started recording, I told you that I was part of it was a free tutoring nonprofit. It's called Schoolhouse.world. The founder and CEO, Sal Khan, who also started Khan Academy. I love Google. Okay, no hate to Google. We were running our entire. I was a customer service. I was on their customer service team as a volunteer, and we were running everything through Google Group. So every time someone gets an email, you can like reply to that. It was in 2020, so I don't remember. And recently, I found out we switched to Zendesk, and people say it's way easier, and I agree. Personally, when I reach out for customer service if I need help with something, if I get an auto reply email from something Zendesk, I know I'm in good hands. Because usually it's so, the way there's a ticket that's put in and the people ensure they get back to you, and then there's even a follow-up if they don't. It's just great. And like I was saying earlier, you guys have a beautiful website, and I think another thing I really love, I'm an advertising major at San Jose State. I love your guys' billboards all across San Francisco. They're really beautiful. They're really eye-catching.
You saw that on the 101, right? So on the way.
I've seen so many. They're great.
Excellent. Thank you for being the customer.
Yeah, of course. I'm curious. I know you have experience at Adobe as well. I'm curious. Can you talk a little bit about that? You were a senior director. How were those days?
In Adobe, I was working on the Ad System, advertising.
Yeah.
So it's actually similar to your major, but your major is probably on the marketing side.
It's in the creative marketing.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, actually, we are running the advertising platform. So we are doing. So I'm leading on the engineer team for what we call RTB. RTB is real-time bidding.
Yeah.
So that's basically take the inventory from Google, from other advertiser, and then we actually match between the people have a demand, want to have a placement on their ad, and versus the supply side. So we are on behalf of the customer, we're bidding for them. Once we get placement, we'll show the ad to them. So we are the almost like a advertising engine.
Wow. And
you're actually building that all through automation. So using machine learning there, using like the real-time kind of based API to call the supply side and connect with demand side, and then be able to really serving that. So that's what my engineer team is doing. It's actually turned out to be much harder than it thought to be, because the uptime is really, really high. The real-time fashion, I'm telling you, scope, we are processing 4 billion requests a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, 4 billion requests a day at a time. Every request, if you want to have a chance, even get to be accepted on the bidding, is 80 milliseconds. So 80 milliseconds, there's hundreds of decisions made during that time.
Way less than a second, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hundreds of decisions made during that 80 milliseconds to decide where you to bid, who your customer going to be have a high chance to win, how much you bid, and what's inside competition, also the external competition and internal competition. It was fascinating how advanced the technologies. I remember we actually tuned to the kernel level, on the program language on the kernel level, and also trying to deploy over service on the bare metal, because even AWS service is not fast enough.
Yeah.
So that was a glorious day. And so before that, we actually working on a startup company, we went public, and doing advertising. So
nice.
That's actually when you get acquired by Adobe. That's why I get Adobe.
Oh, okay, I see. Wow, that's amazing. Well, it's good to know because that's my major and that's what I love doing. So it's cool to see the experience in that. Nan, as we wrap up here, these are the last 2 questions that I asked to all my guests. The first one is, what is your all-time best advice for teens?
For teens, I would say find your passion and be focused on get deep into the passion. Don't get distracted too many interests. And once you find the passion, stick to that, and you will be good. I mean, the focus will be the success recipe.
I love that. That's great advice. I think especially as young people, there's so many things you could like. Like, for example, to find this room, to find the filming area, there were too many good options that I didn't know which one to choose. So I feel like that's the same thing with life. There's so many, like I thought I was going to be a reseller earlier in my life, and then I thought I was going to do tutoring, and now I want to do podcasting, but I'm really trying to go down this path of media. And I really think it keeps me going, and it really keeps me excited.
Yeah.
The same way your job does for you. Last question of the day is, what was your favorite part of being a guest on the Ojekde show today?
What's the
Ojekde show? What was your favorite part of being on the show?
Actually, talking with you, because I was so inspired. When you reached out to me, we don't know each other.
Yeah, I called you.
And I was like, you're exactly the same age as myself.
Yeah.
And then you're already doing this thing.
Yeah.
And so I was really inspired about your passion. So that's why I felt like you can go very far here.
Thank you.
And I want to help you out along the way. And oftentimes at my stage of career, and I have so many scars along the way when I'm dealing with something we learn from failures and something I learned from success. And for me, is how do I pass that experience, pass that kind of things I learned, and to the younger generation. So you actually can benefit from that. So that's my passion. I'm also on the Silicon Valley leadership community. Also, it's a Chinese leadership community.
Nice.
Also getting the next generation of leader to be up to that. So that's my passion. So that's
nice.
why what my favorite part is really talk to you and see your passion on what you're doing. and really inspire me.
I genuinely love technology and meeting people and learning from people's stories. I do remember the kind that you sent to me, and I think it's amazing the fact that you can just cold email in the Bay Area like this and end up with this opportunity. Isn't that such a fascinating thing to do?
Absolutely, and also actually in Bay Area we have such a privilege to connect with so many great people, have a great experience, and then I really value a lot of connection there. But you call me is just because 19 years, so passionate what you do so well what you do. So that's why I was like, yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. It really keeps me going. Happy holidays, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Wonderful episode. Nan shared great insights with tech, medicine, and her advice for teens. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time.